City defensively are in big trouble. One fit centre-half. 8-0 against Watford.
Can I just say something? 8-0 was short. They actually missed chances.
Yes.
Manchester City, if they had had a clean finishing game by Aguero, even by Kevin De Bruyne, this easily, and I'm not talking about just pushing it, I'm saying easily, it could have been 15-0. And it looked every bit of 15-0. If you're a neutral, as we are, we're objective in what we do.
Can I just say, though, it doesn't get to 8-0 unless it could have been 15, does it? I mean, how can you put out an 8-0 scoreline and the other team have any chances whatsoever? I don't know if that's ever happened. But yes, I'm on the right page here. It could have been 15, 16, 17. They could have just racked it up.
Well, yes, of course you could. And as I was saying, when you do what we do, right, and we watch these games and we're supposed to be objective and stay neutral, I have to admit, I was sitting at home and saying, keep going, keep going, go on, keep pushing it. Because it is wonderful to see. It's exciting. It's entertaining. It's when you see that quality of play from the Manchester City players, the ability to deliver passes in key moments, the movement of the ball, the movement with and without the ball, the passing, changing the point of attack, crossing, the timing of the runs, the finishing. When all that comes together and it's the culmination of a long move by Manchester City, it's beautiful to watch. It is gorgeous. It's entertaining. It's exciting. It's what we all like to see. But when you see it, 5 minutes into the game, and it felt like it was 10-0 already, you're like, yes, more of it. More of it. That's on the one spectrum, on the spectrum of being sublime and mesmerizing and perfection in the way you play the game. On the other spectrum, just go to the other side of the spectrum, keep going, keep searching, and then a little bit beyond that is where Watford were. Because they quit. They did not compete. They, right now, as they go back into the locker room, looking at each other, say, man, that was embarrassing. That was the definition of saying, you know what, here's a white flag, see you guys later, we surrender, and please just knock the ball around the back and don't score any more goals. Whereas Manchester City were like, yeah, let's keep going. And it's entirely the wrong team if you're Watford to think that Manchester City is just going to keep the ball. No, they're going to keep coming. Because guess what? For players out on the field, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun when you're knocking the ball around and there are spaces and you can dribble people and you can move without the ball and get in a good area and then you're taking a shot on goal. The only person who did not have fun in this game for Manchester City is Sergio Aguero. Because he's probably going home thinking, I could have scored 6 goals today. I could have had 6 goals. I could have had a double hat-trick easily. These are 100% chances for a guy of Sergio Aguero and his experience and his quality. And so he may not have the greatest of nights, but overall, Manchester City were just unstoppable. They were at a different at a different level, looking like a team that was at a practice session. And so people may ask, well, how come they didn't take some of the attacking players out? Because if you Guardiola, you like those guys having fun out there. It's not like they're pushing themselves, exerting themselves physically to a point of exhaustion. No. When you're knocking the ball like that, you feel like you can run for ages. You can run for days. And that's the way they look. As for Watford, they looked like they were playing not 1, not 2, but how about 10 men down? In fact, 11 men down. It was Manchester City against nobody, and they took full advantage of it.
Yeah, and this is with 6 different goal scorers, a hat-trick for Bernardo Silva as part of that. Aguero did get his goal through a penalty. Mm-hmm. Not to sort of overstate it, forget the hyperbole, but it's almost as if Manchester City, coming off that result against Norwich, being 5 points down in the league to Liverpool already, they did need a performance like that. I'm not saying 8 goals, but they needed that kind of demolition, full focus to show everybody that they are back at it.
They did. And they had some of that against Shakhtar, and they looked good against Shakhtar, and then this was a continuation of that. As a parenthesis in this game, they're up 1-0. And Jared Deulofeu has a clear opportunity, and a clear opportunity after the turnover out of the midfield by Manchester City, where he goes on the right-hand side, tries to chip Ederson. Ederson gets a little touch on it, goes out wide for a corner kick. If Watford scores that goal, maybe we're looking at what the mental status of Manchester City is, because they were looking for that dominating demolition that you're talking about, and I was like, well, 30 seconds in, we're up 1-0, but a minute and a half in, we've given up a goal. And now the questions about our back line come up. Well, it never did happen. It never did materialize. And so this was not a real test for Manchester City. However, whatever was put in front of them, they destroyed. They took full advantage of it. They displayed everything that they can in the attacking half. And you have to be nothing but encouraged if you're Manchester City in terms of the things that you're able to do once you cross the halfway line. They got their questions in the back line. But when you're winning 8-0, it could have been 15. It could have been even more than that. And it would be difficult to point at any of the difficulties they have going on back there.
Yeah, okay. So the security blanket for Manchester City is the attack that they have to take the pressure off Fernandinho, who was playing back there at centre-half. Didn't exactly break sweat. Had a very good game for Manchester City. 8-0, the perfect response to defeat to Norwich. Over to Liverpool again.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.